Hello everyone, and welcome to my bold and beautiful official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Why does Ridge act like such a jerk when he's with Brooke Logan? Ridge Forrester is prepared to return to work at Forrester Creations after resolving his complicated love life on The Bold and the Beautiful. Additionally, it appears that forcing his father into retirement is the top priority on his to-do list. Continue reading for all the information on what will happen next on the CBS soap opera. Thanksgiving will be a challenging one for the Forrester family this year, as Eric Forrester will wind up in a heated debate with his son Ridge. Remember a few years back when Eric almost died and his son was trying to force him into handing up his remaining authority at Forrester Creations? Ridge is back at it, and spoilers indicate that his father will fight this time. New teasers for the serial show the father and son squabbling over his retirement next week. We're not convinced retiring is the appropriate term given that Eric Forrester doesn't work every day. In essence, Ridge wants Eric to give up any rights he may still have. That means Ridge undoubtedly has a trick or two up his sleeve and wants to make some changes at the company that he knows his father won't approve of. Word on the internet is that it might have something to do with his new/ex-wife Brooke Logan, or her daughter's line Hope for the future. The Bold and the Beautiful watchers can't help but notice that Ridge tends to act like a jerk to everyone else when he is married to Brooke. The Forrester Creations heir's positive side was undoubtedly highlighted by Taylor Hayes. Do you think that Brooke is to blame for Ridge pressing his dad? Would he and Eric Forrester still be discussing this if he were to wed Taylor instead? Ridge's dying breath clue. Brooke's husband in fatal danger? The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers warn that Ridge Forrester's dying breath clue could spell problems. Is Brooke Logan Forrester's husband in mortal danger? In the episode, Brooke and Ridge have a nice talk at Forrester Creations. However, an eerily foreboding passage of dialogue was included that could indicate to a horrible twist. Ridge pretended to be with Brooke till he took his dying breath, while talking about their last marriage. Brooke argued Ridge shouldn't even joke about that, and promised him that they'd have many more experiences together. Even yet, B&B tends to be heavy-handed with lines like this when a fresh storyline is heating up. Ridge's reference to his dying breath may be a sign of an impending deadly or almost deadly turn of events. Although it's difficult to accept that the show will permanently kill Ridge, no one can completely rule it out. Of course, the most plausible possibility would be a near-death experience for Ridge that leaves him clinging to life for some plot-related reason. Concerns are set to swirl around Eric Forrester's health in the next episodes, but that may be a bit of deception. Although Eric's test results may give the impression that his life is in danger once more, this may ultimately prove to be a false alarm. The fear could drive Ridge to be a little more proactive about his personal health, especially if Brooke offers him a nudge. Ridge might finally get diagnosed with a sickness of his own, though it clearly wouldn't be something acquired from Eric given he's not Ridge's true father. Naturally, if Ridge sustains a major injury, the program might take an entirely different turn. We might envision Sheila Sharp's retaliation against Taylor Hayes going very wrong in the future. If Taylor and Deacon Sharp had an affair, Sheila might retaliate in a serious way. Perhaps Ridge could dive in front of Taylor just before Sheila pulls the trigger or something along those lines. Ridge faces up against Eric after a heated argument with Bill. Ridge talked to Brooke about the pressure he was under because of the collection. He needed everything to be excellent to help lessen the Luna fallout. Although Ridge was under stress, Brooke inquired whether he'd given any further thought to a surprise retirement party for Eric. Ridge had, and he needed it to be perfect, which Brooke agreed with. She was concerned that Eric wasn't ready to say goodbye to the firm he founded, but Ridge was worried about the toll it took on his health to continue participating in the day-to-day operations of the company. Eric and Donna entered the office, but Ridge was taken aback by his arrival. Eric didn't believe he required an invitation to visit the business he started. However, their talk was interrupted by the sounds of Bill yelling about Forrester to Katie in her office. When Bill inquired about whether Katie had received a thank you for any of her contributions to the business, she said he was right to be concerned. Katie was irritated that they sought the expertise of an outside PR firm, rather than relying on her. Bill used that as evidence that her skills were being wasted at Forrester, and it was long past time for her to return to Spencer, her true family company. Ridge verified that Bill had entered the premises, But Donna reminded him that it wasn't a strange visit since he and Katie had reconciled. Ridge, however, questioned why they were playing house and was repulsed that Katie had returned to Bill's life. Because of their ongoing problems, Ridge didn't want Bill anywhere close to the building. Back in Katie's office, Bill told Katie that Brooke will never choose her side over Ridge. She has never done so, he said, and he warned her that she never will. This was only the latest example of Brooke placing Ridge ahead of everyone else in her life. Bill believed that Katie had to find a place where she was valued and respected. Ridge charged into the office and questioned what he was doing there, and Bill declared that he was there to defend the women he loved. Ridge was admonished by Bill. Katie has given everything to this company, and you repay her with disrespect. Ridge wasn't sure where any of his charges were coming from, but Bill didn't appreciate the stupidity. He pointed out that Katie took some time off, was punished for it, and was replaced by the outside PR firm. Ridge assumed that bringing in the additional PR team was a means to help, not hinder Katie. Bill didn't like how Katie was treated and accused Ridge of being the circus ringmaster. Ridge questioned Katie if she shared Bill's sentiments, and she agreed that bringing in the PR agency seemed like a slap in the face. Ridge regretted Katie's feelings, but Katie reassured Ridge that she was capable of speaking for herself. Ridge didn't think it was the time or place to have the conversation, and he requested him to leave the premises. Back in the CEO's office, Eric was concerned that he would not be accepted by the company either. He felt excluded. Eric offered to help Ridge with some of his recent designs if his son would allow it. After telling them about Bill sowing seeds in Katie's mind, Ridge begged everyone to give him some time so he could finish his job. However, Eric demanded a moment of Ridge's time, and despite Ridge asking not to be bothered, Eric pushed. Brooke and Donna felt the situation was deteriorating, so they left for the showroom. After they left, Ridge expressed regret for upsetting Eric, and Eric inquired as to if he was too busy to speak with the man who founded the business. Being an outsider at his own company wasn't something Eric liked. He was aware of how much Ridge was helping Forrester, but before he could say anything more, Ridge got the call he had been waiting for. Eric tried to speak to Ridge after the call ended, but Ridge continued getting interrupted. Eric said he had seen some of Ridge's sketches and thought the design showed Ridge's recent lack of concentration. Ridge tried to unplug to give Eric his complete attention, but again another notice flashed up. Eric taught Ridge the value of teamwork while praising Ridge's skill to put out the small fires. Recalling their time spent working side by side, Eric acknowledged that his inventiveness had never diminished. Eric urged his son to make him a co-designer on the couture line, and Ridge stared at him with complete and utter scorn. Donna expressed admiration for Ridge's designs for the new collection, and Brooke talked candidly about all of Ridge's recent struggles. Brooke and Steffi picked up some of the extra work, but Ridge was bearing the design load. Donna mentioned that Ridge could use his father's skills and bring Eric on board. Donna believed that Ridge was concerned about his own legacy, which is why he refused to give Eric the time of day. Donna added that Eric wanted to be more than a face of the brand. He wanted to design. Putting out designs and doing what he loved was not the same as having influence. Donna explained that Eric spends countless hours at home, painting and seeking something he no longer felt he was part of. She hoped that Ridge would give his father another chance at success and treat him with respect. Bill continued his tirade against Ridge and the whole of Forrester Creations after Katie, and he went back to Spencer Publications. The way Katie's supervisor denigrated her infuriated him, but she didn't think his perspective on the matter was constructive. She asked him to calm down so he could think of a solution. After realizing that his feelings were irrelevant, Bill asked her what she ultimately desired. Bill disliked Ridge, but he wasn't the main source of his rage. In general, he was more offended by the way the Forrester authorities treated Katie in general. Bill was aware that Katie didn't need to be saved, but he still pledged to support her and stand by her side no matter what. Katie is a vital worker at Forrester Creations, just like her sisters. As the public relations professional, Katie has to deal with the media. The media has been harassing FC lately on Luna and her terror reign. FC recruited a PR firm to handle the problem instead of depending on Katie. It makes sense that the Forresters didn't want Katie to handle public relations, since she and her family were implicated in the Luna controversy. However, Katie was offended by the choice to hire a PR firm. Many individuals can relate with Katie, who believes that she's being replaced. However, some followers on Reddit say she's blowing things out of proportion. The original poster stated, "It's not like she's been fired, she's not losing hours, if anything she's been given more help for the same paycheck." Katie should be ecstatic that Forrester is providing her with so much support, as she takes the necessary time to sort through her personal family problems. One viewer wrote, "I concur. The company still needs a PR specialist, but it's okay if she wants to take time off and support herself. She was not fired. They merely brought someone in temporarily," wrote one commenter. Brooke and Ridge, who are pleased with the PR firm's performance, are already at odds with Katie. With Katie no longer feeling helpful at FC, she might take up Bill's offer to work at Spencer Publications. Although Brooke and Ridge hinted Katie wasn't needed, they'll be unhappy when she quits FC. But Katie might not be the only person leaving. Bill wants Will at Spencer too, and if Katie attends, then Will might follow his mom's lead. With Bill picking up the FC's staff, this will revive his lifelong feud with Ridge. Meanwhile, Katie and Brooke's sisterly friendship might be destroyed when they support their men in the Forrester versus Spencer war. After acknowledging that she had miscarried Will's child, Luna, Lisa Yamada, was formally declared dead, ending the devastation she had unleashed as soon as she escaped from prison. In the wake of her death, Will and Elektra have been trying to create a pocket of peace at the beach house, even as the emotional shockwaves continue to hit them from every aspect. Simultaneously, neither Bill nor Katie anticipated being drawn back into each other's orbit. Supporting Will through the horror of being raped by Luna drove them into a shared emotional space, one that cracked open old loyalties and reminded them how deeply they work as a team. But their rediscovered connection also came at a heavy professional cost. Forrester Creations subtly replaced Katie as head of PR while she was preoccupied with Will, leaving her unprepared, heartbroken, and abruptly removed from the organization she had battled to defend and serve. She accepted Bill's invitation to move back in since she was reeling from that betrayal and needed stability. Although it's unclear if they are genuinely reuniting or just getting through the repercussions together, the two are now starting again under one roof. Ridge, meanwhile, spent Thanksgiving at Steffi's, but he and Brooke remain firm and united. In the midst of the chaos that has become Los Angeles, the couple recently found time to reflect on their lengthy and complex past.